Unless we just edit this shit out anyhow, but probably not.
Probably gonna. Well,
yeah. Anyway.
So anyway, what is going on, Haunt Nation? Man. Oh, look, he said his name this time.
Yeah, hey.
He's in a better mood.
Sun even shines on a dog's ass some days, right?
So T is doing something business related for the moment. So
yeah, just a few seconds.
I will tell you. Just recorded the entire fucking review for Bates Motel, and unfortunately, only about half of it made it to the video because I did not check the card prior to recording, and it just shut down, and I have no way of knowing that it shut down.
Especially when we're just free-versing, looking at the back of a Samsung.
So you are favorite people. We'll get a more consolidated review this time, more straight to the point.
Yeah,
maybe a little less bullshitting.
Yeah.
But you will get a review nonetheless.
And it is going to be pretty quick because just all of a sudden I realized I have to piss like a racehorse. So, with that being said,
well, why don't you go take a quick leak, and I will inform them of what we just found out. So
yeah, you definitely don't want me here for that. For any of you who know my strong opinions on being fucked.
You enjoy it?
I'm gonna leave this to I like being the fucker. No, I enjoy being the fucker, not the fucky. In this case, we would be the huge fucky. On that note,
all right, go. Yeah, go. I got this. I think I can handle it for a few seconds without you. Don't let him in.
No, I'm trying.
All right. So anyway, friends, neighbors, countrymen, lend me your ears. If you look at the Facebook page, we have it set tonight that we are going to Reaper's Revenge in Scranton. I'm going to have to go on and revise that. Why? Why, you may ask? Well, I will tell you. Reaper's is a $40 ticket, $3 for parking. Beautiful haunt park. We enjoy it. We've gone pretty much every year since, I don't think we went there first year, but maybe the second year that they opened. Love the park. However, I'm guessing due to COVID restrictions this year, he was just informed by someone who went last night, that is a friend of his, that not one, but two of their attractions are not open this year. I'm guessing due to COVID. I went on the website prior to shooting this video and I looked, and it seems like the Darkness, which is their pitch black walkthrough, their sensory deprivation chamber, for lack of a better thing to call it, which I always enjoy, fantastic, and Sector 13, their big metal enclosed apocalyptic setting, are not open. So you're basically dealing with the Hayride, the Lost Carnival of Souls, and the Delirium, which are basically all part of the same thing. They're all one section. Seeing as that is the case from confirmation from a third-party source who was there and told us, and from also looking at their website where they list only the 3 attractions I just talked about, it seems like the other 2 are closed for the season. There is no reduction in ticket price. This isn't a $20 ticket for half an event. This is a $40 ticket for half an event. And seeing that that is the case, although I'm sure it's due to COVID, and I would love to support our local businesses and our local haunts, we will not be attending Reaper's Revenge tonight.
No, nor the rest of the season, because I'm not.
No, not unless they change something.
Unless they change it, right.
And also the Hayride, which is the first mandatory thing you go to, also has the longest lines out of the whole thing. I really don't feel like spending as much time online,
knowing that you're not going to be able to go through the whole fucking thing.
Well, as I will. Yeah. And that was a good segue. You came right back in.
Yep.
Beautiful. Like nothing was lost.
Nothing was lost except a few ounces of water.
Yeah. So we will not be going there tonight. It looks as though we will probably be heading to Brighton Asylum, but that also is dependent on whether or not we can get tickets.
Right. So
we will be attempting. I will figure it out.
Right.
Figure it out.
Well, we'll definitely get someplace. Worst comes to worst, if we're in Jersey, we could always go to 13th hour
Right.
if Brighton's going. Like there's always options.
So we haven't been to Brighton in a long while. We went to one of their
last was the Santa Sleigh.
right. We went to one of their
Yeah.
off-season things. I don't know if we went last season. We've definitely been to 13th hour more than Brighton.
Mhm.
So Brighton was looking
I
like
don't
the
think
choice.
I got the 13th last year though.
Did you?
No, I don't think I got.
No,
the
I don't
13th
think you
last
did.
Year, no.
I did. I
Yeah,
definitely
you
did.
did. You did.
And we did. Did we go for one of their like Valentine's Day or off-season things as well? I think we did.
You did.
I did.
I didn't get a chance to.
Right.
No.
So anyway, onwards and upwards.
Bates Motel.
Right. Bates Motel. That is what we are reviewing today. So
First and foremost, they don't charge for parking.
free parking. Always
Free parking,
a plus.
always a good thing. The one thing we noticed though, as soon as we got there, it was fucking packed.
Packed. All right.
They do have adequate people in the parking lot,
Directing
traffic, telling you where to park, telling you where to go. That I will give them that.
a good amount of security that
Yeah.
was doing their job.
Yeah, absolutely.
But first line we encountered was a
Temperature check and wanding,
Right.
metal detection, temperature check.
So it looked like their box office was completely closed. Tickets are all online. Scannable ticket on your cell phone, which pretty much everybody has a cell phone now.
Mhm.
Scannable ticket on your cell phone, so no physical ticket. At
Right.
the last place we went to, Field of Screams, scanned the ticket, gave us physical tickets,
Right.
marked the tickets as we went through the different events that we were allowed to go to and through how we felt appropriate.
Right.
Not so much. Bates used to be that way. Bates is normally that way. This year, probably due to COVID, they are doing a more
Controlled.
and a more
So to speak.
headless horseman kind of thing where it's linear.
Yeah, you got to go from 1 to
2
1 to 1
3,
to 1.
and then you're done.
Yeah, you can't decide.
So the COVID line, let's call it,
Mhm.
was probably the longest
longest,
line
yeah.
that we had to deal with. Masks are mandatory, although we did see many people doing the nose ranger
The mask muncher,
and the chin strap.
respectively.
But when they were caught by security directed them to put their fucking mask on.
Right.
And they did. We did see people get removed. We don't know why
Mm-hmm.
at some point, but people did get removed.
Which is funny to me because this is a complete non-contact year, so no matter how close they get to you, they're not allowed to touch you. So it would just be weird to me. People start swinging on motherfuckers.
It could have been somebody finger fucking the stuff in the attractions, the animatronics.
Yeah, it's true too.
You know,
never know.
We
They're
don't
idiots,
know
yeah.
why they were removed, but we saw people get removed.
Bottom line, the security was trying to do their job.
Yep, they were there. They were doing their job. It was appropriate.
Right.
So that line, notwithstanding, go through temperature check, get a wanding. If you fail the wanding, you're walking through a metal detector, or if you have a bag, you're going to a separate area to go through the metal detector. They're going to search your bag.
Right.
Don't leave your bag in the car. Don't bring your gun. Don't bring your knife. Don't bring your samurai sword. It's a fucking haunted house.
Right.
So the first thing, bathrooms, porta potties.
Yeah,
Couple
that's
very
standard.
very few
standard.
screen parks actually have
real
real
bathrooms.
bathrooms. Have seen a couple,
Mhm.
but very few. So first thing we did was what would have been the hayride, but is now called the psychopath.
Yeah. I didn't even know.
Psychopath.
See what they did there.
Psycho.
I didn't even notice that, by the way, because I was just thinking of, it would be cool to walk through the fucking hayride.
Right.
So I didn't know
Yeah,
they
I saw the
changed
sign. It said, psychopath,
anything. Oh, okay.
and there was something else. So they do have signs up. Stand 6 feet apart. Nobody was really doing that. People in line were trying to crawl inside our respective assholes. As we're waiting online, like what is that? Oh, that's a person.
Yeah.
So people are going to be people.
Right. Speaking of people being people,
Yeah.
that was the solitary thing that took me out of most of the hayride walk. I'll call it the hayride walk. I don't know, whatever. You get what I'm saying.
Psychopath.
Yeah. Because twice, not once, but twice, we had a bunch of Usain Bolts running up our ass. They were freaked out. Not only were they scared, but when they got up to us, they were almost trying to hold on to us. It's like they were trying to use us as Operation Human Shield. Like for some reason, it's not as scary as you hide behind these two motherfuckers in front of you when there's 8 of you.
Right.
I don't know what the fuck they thought we were going to do.
We're going to protect them.
Of course we were, yeah. Oh, God.
So, anyway.
I got to keep quiet, man. I have so much good material that I could be throwing out right now. But
Very nice.
But Facebook would demonetize everything and shut our channel down.
We don't make monetize.
Well, we don't monetize. But what I'm saying is,
there's no D.
There's no
There's
D.
only one D.
Yeah. What, two? Yeah.
But you know,
yeah. And we would totally get flagged on Facebook because of their lack of humor and empathy and soul. Anyhow,
he is a robot, bro.
Yeah, Android
dude is a robot.
So, twice we ended up.
Well, before that,
Okay.
spacing. Let's start with spacing.
Okay.
Spacing was decent, but not great.
Right.
They were letting in individual groups, and then maybe a group of 20 together as an individual. So your 3 go, how many in your group? Your 6 go, how many in your group? So the groups were larger. It is a woods walk, so the path is meant for a hayride. So there's plenty of room that you shouldn't be on top of each other. So it's not horrible.
Right.
Until you get to the people like he was talking about, which are the ones sprinting up your ass.
Right. And twice I said, let's just tell
two
these
different groups.
Yeah.
Not twice. We had twice with one group.
And finally, I was like, dude, let's get them to fucking move. So we ended up stepping aside and telling these people, go.
Right. And they
Let's fucking
still, when we stepped aside, they stepped aside with us.
Like, we're going to protect them.
We're
And I'm
not
like, no,
here.
this is what we're here for.
Yeah, go. Just go.
Yeah.
And yeah, they sprinted up on him, almost hit him twice.
Yeah.
Physically almost ran into him twice.
Which would not have ended well.
No. So
for any
we let them
parties
go,
involved.
and we walked through. It is the hayride in its entirety without the ride. It's the hay walk. So all the things were there. All the different sections were there. You know, they didn't shortcut us through it and give us half of it or a quarter.
Right.
We actually got to experience the whole thing from a walking perspective, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Biggest gripes about it in general, and it's going to be the gripes through the whole
thing was lack of actors. Lack of live actors.
So each section had 1 to 2 actors, probably 2.
Yeah. A couple of them just had one,
Right.
and a couple of them had one that wouldn't even come out with every group. They'd just be hiding and then come out when they fucking wanted to. So I would turn around and be like, why are the people screaming? I'll go, oh, okay, there was something there. Okay.
So, yeah, like he said, 1 to 2 actors. They were maintaining social distancing. You know, they were doing what they were. They had their masks on and whatnot. So, you know, very COVID compliant over there. There were sanitizer stations around. You know, signs that said maintain 6 feet, though people chose to ignore them. Yeah, the walk was mostly fun.
Yeah.
Biggest gripe about it was, like he said, lack of actors, and also the triggering. The triggering was meant for a hayride. They did have sound throughout it, though.
They did.
Somebody took the time and put out some speakers with some sound, so it wasn't completely, completely dead. But
definitely not as theatrical
as the hayride.
As the hayride would have been.
Right. Things were resetting. Things had been reset. Things were going off after we went by them. Whereas when you go through in the hayride, things are going off.
They're
maybe in different sections
right.
of the hayride, but they are triggered for the cart.
Right.
And they are happening at the cart, appropriate times, and they weren't.
Right.
They weren't. So that's the biggest gripe with that. But it was really cool to see it from a different
and especially the very few times where it was just the 3 of us walking, where we actually didn't have to worry about the scariest thing in the place being assholes.
Things got quiet. Nobody was making noise. Nobody was on top of us. It was more fun, more immersive.
Right.
You know, in those large groups, not so much.
Yeah. So getting. And you, of course, you pad. You know, when you're done, because you see the platform where the cart would have let you off, and you basically walk right into the queue for the woods walk.
Right. Yeah. There is no choice. They have you corralled to go into the woods walk, which is the Scarecrow's
Revenge. Yeah. Revenge of the Scarecrow, something like that.
So on top of it, the woods through the hayride. Excuse me. That's the wonderful omelet I made this morning. Revisiting.
And it was.
The hayride, it is called Bates Motel, and they do have a motel set piece.
Yeah.
During the hayride, and I will give a shout out to the actor playing the Norman Bates part. He was by far
the most animated and into
animated,
it.
interactive,
Yeah.
and into it. So you are the actor of the day, my friend.
Yeah.
You know, take pride in that. You did a great job. Then off to the Scarecrow's Revenge. Again, long line, but they had the lines. The lines weren't as long as they appeared.
Right.
Because they had dead space lines. They had dead lines in between. So there was a line, and where you'd normally be queued up, line, you know, zigzag pattern, it was a line, dead line, line, dead line. Right. So they went faster than expected. Right. Again, the guy maintaining the security at the front of it was trying to maintain some spacing. However, he was still putting us through maybe 30 seconds apart, and in larger, like we didn't get our own group. We were at the front, and then our group went, and then he put a group of 6 in, basically with us, maybe 5 seconds behind us.
Right. You know, said, please stay apart from them.
Right. Told them 6 feet, and then they were on top of us in no time.
Right.
And we weren't crawling. We don't Scooby-Doo walk. We take a nice leisurely walk. We like to look. We like to see. We like to look at the set pieces, the makeups, the surroundings, the you know, all the different things.
Right. And again, like we said, a gripe through the whole thing was there really was not many live actors.
Yep. There were not a lot of live actors throughout the whole. So, unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Right.
That I don't really, maybe a couple little things that changed. You know, a lot less interaction with the actors. One of the favorite set pieces there was a mausoleum set piece.
Normally, still gorgeous. Still absolutely
normally your
gorgeous.
group would walk in, the doors would close, people would interact with you.
Right.
Several actors would interact with you, and there was one actor in the mausoleum. Doors never closed. You know, things of that nature. So, you know, less interactive than during a normal season.
Right.
Far less interactive than during a normal season.
Right.
However, the actors that were there were doing their job.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't complain about that.
Only one chainsaw in the whole of the attraction. Only one chainsaw, which was appropriately placed.
Score one for originality, because where it was placed with the set that it was in was completely appropriate.
Right, completely appropriate. However, we were not walking fast. We were not Scooby-Doo walking, but we were not walking fast or sprinting.
Right.
We still were able to catch up to the people that were in front of us. And I must say that the chainsaw has, I mean, it really shouldn't have any effect, because every haunted house for the last decade plus has been using a chainsaw.
Right.
But chainsaw has a lot less effect when you watch the people in front of you avoid the chainsaw, and nobody gets killed. It really takes the scare factor out of it for you. Like, well, he's not getting them, he's not going to get us.
Right.
So, but small things.
Right.
Then on to the house, which is wonderful. Normally, it is a fantastic house. It is
visually, it's a fantastic.
It's an old school haunted house. It looks like a haunted house. You walk in, and it is a haunted house. Yeah. It is a house. It's not a warehouse. It's not. It is a house. I understand. I'm not taking shots at anybody that have the warehouse set up. The warehouse setup provides you with a lot of potential. Unfortunately, it also provides you with 30 feet of dead space over the top of your head.
Which kind of pulls you out of it if you look up.
Right. And most places, and they don't keep it so claustrophobic that you can't see down, 25 feet and see the top of the 8-foot wall. They're not allowed to cover you in. Yeah. It's a fire hazard.
Until we really met Steve and talked to Steve, the owner of 13th Hour, we didn't understand that was actually fire regulation. Right. In at least in Jersey.
So we do give a lot of leeway for that, because we understand that it is, it's a fire regulation. There's nothing they can do about it.
Right.
I mean, me personally, I would think about some of that netting, like the netting they use to hide, trucks and cars. The military uses to cover things. Maybe cover the top with some netting to, keep it darker.
Right.
Kind of keep you in. But again, I don't know if that's a regulation. So the house is a very traditional haunted house. Always beautiful.
Yep.
But again,
number one, hardly any actors.
Right. And again, let's talk about spacing a little bit. The spacing was far better than our last house, Field of Screams.
But
far better than Field of Screams. However, we were on a line with a lot of people. The guy was trying to put us through with a group that went in before us. T was like,
Not having it.
yeah. So the guy let us wait. I mean, he only provided us with about 15 seconds between them and us, and then he put the group behind us basically in with us
On top
anyway.
of us, yeah.
So plus we got to go first.
Even though I did get in and get body checked by the actor in the first room.
Oh, did you? I didn't see that. I heard you laugh. I didn't. know
Yeah,
you were
that's why I
laughing.
was laughing. I was like, "Oh, dude, maybe this will be fun." You know.
So yeah. So
Now, granted, I had to turn and look and make sure it wasn't no scared motherfucker running into me.
right.
Because if it's an actor and you get, touchy and stuff, that's okay. That's what you're there for. When it's a patron, not so much.
Yeah. No, we don't know you. Don't touch us.
Well, and they usually aren't female and look like anyone I would want touching me in the first place. Anyhow, with that being said, again, really the gripes I think that we had last night really were kind of universal, whereas a lot of the animatronics that were supposed to be triggered were either not being triggered or just not functional.
Right. And they were resetting.
Or they were reset.
So the spacing again, although was better, was not appropriate for a group to set off things as they were going through. We were still catching things resetting. Still a couple times that we had to stop because there was a group in front of us that we ran up on.
Mm-hmm.
And they were there. And we had to stop and wait a few seconds till they moved along.
Right.
And then again, they were setting off things and they're resetting or they're still going off as we get to them.
Right.
And then just broken animatronics.
Right.
Animatronics just not working.
Right.
Not cool. If you have a house that's all actors or mostly actors with some animatronics, there's a lot more leeway.
Right.
With that. If something's broken, it's broken, but you still have other things going on. When it's
Exactly.
mostly an animatronics house, those should be working at peak performance.
Right.
And unfortunately they weren't. There were several instances that they didn't. There's an angel of death that normally stands and spreads its wings and that just was just in a dark corner.
Yeah.
They didn't even have it lit up so you'd see it. Like I knew it was there, being there several times before, and it just dead. A library room, which probably my favorite room in that house, the library room. There was one animatronic working in that room.
Right. And previously, like, that room is alive. Like, you know,
it's alive.
Yeah.
You have
not so much anymore.
bookcases, that things moving, books
And I
that are
do
moving.
remember previous years actors like hanging from the ceiling
Mm-hmm.
in that room, popping down on you. So again, the short staffed and the
So yeah, unfortunately, a lot of the animatronics were not.
and when I say short staffed, I'm not talking about a house for midgets. I'm talking about they just didn't have enough
I
people.
think they know.
Yeah, okay, hey, just
I think they know.
a little motherfucker doing martial arts.
Martial
I'm
arts.
thinking about that thing. Sorry.
So
I love you, half of motherfuckers. Don't get me wrong.
some photo ops afterwards. There weren't a lot of actors walking around creeping lines.
Yeah, dude, Haichu the Clown was nowhere to be found.
There was one dude. There was
one dude
played doctor.
Yeah, Rob Halford walking.
Yeah,
I don't know
Rob
what he
Halford
was
walking.
attempting, but
Wanted to get a picture with him, but couldn't get a hold of him. He just was always at a distance that we couldn't get near
Yeah.
to him. But he was in character,
Yeah, he
maintained
was trying.
character throughout. He was
He was trying.
trying. He was doing his job.
Fire dancer. That was
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Girl with a fire ring that was
Mhm.
dancing and twirling
Hula
her
hoop
fire
and
ring.
shit. Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Tried to get a video of that again. When we got to a place that the video would have been decent,
She took a smoke break. Yeah.
Her smoke
No-
break.
no
Smoke
pun intended,
break,
yeah.
The fire ring.
Yeah.
Dad jokes, everybody. So yeah, and as far as concessions go, they usually have 4 bays
Yeah, there's very, very minimum last night.
with
Minimal
t-shirts, hoodies, and all that, and there was nothing. There was one part of the food concession that was open, and it had 3 t-shirts, one plain Bates Motel, what looked like a V-neck maybe for girls, and some kind of breast cancer awareness t-shirt maybe. I'm gonna guess maybe they didn't go the mile and come up with new concepts, print shirts, hoodies, and whatever. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt because of the COVID season. They probably were like, you know what, I don't feel like investing tens of thousands of dollars on merchandise for a season that may not happen.
Right.
So, we're giving them a pass on that.
Mm-hmm.
Altogether, though, I mean, we're giving you the gripes. We're giving you the nitpicks. Altogether, still an enjoyable night. People are the thing that have made it less enjoyable.
Less enjoyable, yeah.
I was going to say more unenjoyable. But
less enjoyable.
That English is really bad.
Mm-hmm.
So less enjoyable. And yeah. But other than that, still a pretty decent night.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't want to shit on them too bad, only because of the COVID season.
Yeah.
But the things that were in their control, such as the trigger and the lack of live actors, that's where we usually give this haunt a consistent 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
So I'm going to go...
Even though nothing changes, and that's usually our biggest gripe with this haunt,
mm-hmm.
is nothing or something minimal.
Mm-hmm.
A few minimal changes.
Right.
Again, we have the nothing to minimal to nothing, change-wise, but also
we're taking a point and a half away just because of the lack of live actors and the triggers just being improperly.
So this year you're going to say?
So I'm giving it a soft 7. Let's give it a soft 7. It needs Viagra. Yeah. I love it.
7. That's fucking great. I'm gonna be a little more harsh than you.
It's a 7 putting a condom on. They're trying to get a soft 7.
I'm gonna go a little more harsh than you. I'm gonna go 6.5 to a 7. I'm gonna go with a 6.5. You're going with a soft 7.
Yeah.
Less enjoyable than other years. But it is what it is.
But still more enjoyable in Field of Storms.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, we're gonna be reviewing another movie in another video, and I think I fucked up the name of the Robert movie we reviewed last time, right?
Yeah, but we ain't gonna fuck up this one.
Yeah. Well, the last Robert wasn't Revenge.
It was the curse.
The curse of Robert. I fucking can't keep track.
The curse of the one-eyed Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. That I Willem Dafoe doll. So anyway, guys, until the next time, we will have the new review up at some point.
And we'll have to let you know, we got to check tickets right now. We don't know if we can do Brighton Asylum tonight, if we can do 13th Hour tonight. We don't know what we're going to do, but we will keep you updated.
All right.
Later.
See you.
That's what we should probably look into first.